Okay, so you're now in the butterfly zone, and I'm here once again with Drake, the Scorpion. Yes, there's no reason why he would not be calling his album The Scorpion. He is a Scorpio. Yes, Drake is a Scorpio. For everybody who doesn't know, he makes it perfectly well known. He's a 0-degree Scorpio though. That means that he is also a Libra cusper. So he's born on the cusp of Libra and Scorpio. He's born October 24th. He has Libra traits. Now, he still is a Scorpio sun sign. So even for some of you guys that's checking your birth charts and you're a cusper, you gotta take that actual sign that is calculating out in your birth chart, okay? But you will still have traits of the sign that you're on the cusp of, okay? So he has some Libra tendencies in his chart, in his personality traits. So his sun sign Scorpio, he has a Scorpio personality. He loves to keep his things to himself. He loves to keep things to himself. He is more of the observer type than just the action-oriented type. Calculated, because we all know observers are calculated. So he's not gonna just be getting out there making sudden moves. He's already calculated the moves, and he already knows what moves he should make, what moves he should make next. And that, my friends, is why he's going to keep his date. He's not going to back down from that challenge. He's going to keep that date, June the 28th, because that was already something that he had planned. He's also showing everybody like, suckers, you think you scare me? So he has that Scorpion personality. Now, let's get into the nitty gritty, because he also has his moon sign in Cancer. That's right, Cancer. He's an emotional brother. Y'all wonder why it's like, why Drake keeps doing these emotional songs, and it's like he's catering to the females and he's catering to his emotions, and he doesn't know how to stop, and he's such a punk, and he's just this and he's just that. Bruh, like, no, the dude is feminine in his personality and his emotions. That's what he is. You can't get mad at him. It's his natural makeup. And you know what the saying is, we gotta do what we know, right? We gotta be true to ourselves. And as much as it gets on our nerves, or on some of the people's nerves, I can't even sit here in front like I don't have Drake's albums, but as much as it gets on a lot of people's nerves that he does this, he does that emotionally, and you know, things of that nature, really it's got him very far, not denying who he actually is. You know what I'm saying? But you got to remember, there is two sides to one coin. So just like he shows his emotion and he shows them in a way to where he seems vulnerable and everything, there's nothing like a woman scorned. And no, I'm not referring to Drake as a woman, but I'm saying the people that is persecuting him for this feminine energy that you say that he has so much, you know, have y'all ever seen a woman mad? Have you ever seen a feminine mad? Okay, this is what we're talking about here. This is what is going on. But one thing you do not do, I will repeat, do not do, is talk about Drake's mother. Is put her in the context of anything that you have going on, because his moon sign is in Cancer. Cancer actually belongs with the moon. It's a representation of the moon, of our emotions. So he knows what he feels. He's pretty connected with that, and he's connected with his mother. Moon sign in Cancer, his mother was there. His mother was supportive of him. His mother was his security system. So some of you people out there that has issues with your mother, you may not have grew up with her, and if you did, she may not have been emotionally present. No, his mother was there rooting him on, having his back when nobody else was there. And for that, he feels like he owes her his life. And for that, y'all better get off his back, and you better get off of his mother's back, because he don't want to hear none of that. You see what I'm saying? And this is what we're dealing with here. He has a very close connection with his mother, with his Mercury in Scorpio. That means that the planet Mercury was in the constellation of Scorpio when Drake was born. Mercury in Scorpio, that means that he has little to say. He's not going to be sitting up there like with pointless conversation with pointless people he feel like he doesn't know and he doesn't owe you anything. He would rather calculate, and he would rather share a lot of his deepest feelings and moments and things that are important to him with the people that he feel that he can trust. So off top, there's not many people he feel like he can trust. It's not many people he feel like that he communicates with or has been in communication with that he trusts. Interviews that he did do, he probably really didn't want to do those. He just felt like he had to because that was a way to get his career and himself out there to the next level. And when he got to a certain point, we saw how he stopped really doing interviews like that. That's why, who knows, he might come out and start doing interviews a little bit more because of the situation that came out. But then again, if he doesn't, you cannot be surprised. His Mercury is in Scorpio. He is very intense with his emotions. He thinks about what he's going to say before he says it. And that is why when people just drop information, just say stuff out of their mouth that is just frivolous, he is shocked by it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm shocked. He doesn't understand why people would make such foolish, detrimental moves. He's behind the scenes. And you best believe, since his Mercury is conjunct his sun, he is in tune with where he is going. He learns information around the direction that he's going in. Nothing else. The rest of the people, what they got to say means absolutely nothing to him. So if at a point in time he was a fan of Pusha T's, then that means that at a point in time Pusha T has some type of relevance. The way that he rhymes, the way that he handled himself. Drake knew more details about Pusha T than he thought that he knew, and he probably still does. And if there's nothing that you can air out on Pusha T, well, like, it's nothing like the wrath and the sting, the revenge of a Scorpio. Let's say he don't get him this time, but he gets him next time. Let's say he says, you know what, I'm gonna murder him with the fact that I'm about to have another top selling album, or let me just stick to this track on this album because I'm gonna get paid while I am shooting at my enemies. He has Venus in Scorpio too. Oh my God. Venus in Scorpio too. This is a triple Scorpio threat. Sun, Mercury, Venus. So he keeps whatever he's doing, he keeps it on the low. Okay? Whoever he's involved with, his love interest, he keeps them on the low. And y'all cannot act like Scorpios ain't sexual. So yes, he would be into the women that exude that dark sexuality, that crosses the limits. Baby mama, she crosses the limits with her sexuality. He's raw about his. That could be how he ended up with a baby. Nonetheless, he still is. And just because he doesn't want to broadcast, he's not a freaking Sagittarius. Sagittarians are the broadcasters. He has a problem and an issue with broadcasting everything. You know, it says it right here in his chart. I'm gonna get to it. But he keeps his situations on the low. He moves on the low. His target is on the low. So he'll plan something and come out with it like it ain't nothing. He takes his jabs in a subliminal nature, but you know that he's talking to you. And he may not directly say your name, but you know that he's talking to you. He's like, you illiterate fool. How do you not know I'm not talking about you? And if you don't know, I want you to wreck your brain trying to figure out. Yeah, right. That's Scorpio for you. When do you know a Scorpio to just be direct? I mean, look at Phaedra Parks on Housewives of Atlanta. She's never really direct. She hid the fact of how many weeks along she was in her pregnancy because she didn't want people to know her business. She didn't want you knowing that she got knocked up by her husband before he was her husband. She feels like, well, this is my business. And Scorpios do have this thing to where they want to be efficient. They could be stuck up and snobby as crap. They want things a certain way. They're like the rich kids, even if they're not rich kids. Money, the rulers of the 8th house in the zodiac, all about those finances, other people's money. Drake knows how to get other people's money because he knows how to target the emotions, and everybody that laughs at him, you guys are the joke. Even if you're not the joke, you got to understand he connects with people with his customers on an emotional level, because that's how you make sales too. Like, come on guys, y'all act like we don't know this. Well, his Mars is in Aquarius. Plays the background. So the whole time he's observing his people. He's observing people that's around him, not around him, things that people are saying, things that people are not saying. So when he hears songs, and since he's the master of that sneak subliminal dissing, he knows when somebody is sneak subliminal dissing him, because he knows that type of strategy. So you guys can say, oh, Drake started this and Drake started that, but all along he knew. I heard what you said. You were talking about me in that record. Okay, yeah, I know you were. Scorpios are very intuitive. They know, they can see behind the facade of a person any day. So Jay-Z could be shaking his hand, talking about we cool, bruh. Drake knows deep down inside, we not cool. You still mad at me for when I didn't want to jump on board with you on the company with the title thing and whatnot. So Drake is peeping what's going out. He knows the game plan. He knows the deal. He has Mars in Aquarius. That means that when you're dealing with Aquarius, you're dealing with things that are unpredictable in nature. You are dealing with opposites. You are dealing with somebody that's inventive, unique, and he was really unique in the sense that he knew, I want to come out as a rapper, but I'm going to come out as like this emotional rapper that talks about my personal innuendos and feelings and things of that nature. No other rapper was really doing that. And yes, some people are saying, well, I see them coming out lately saying like, hey, Drake is copying and Drake is imitating my style, my stuff. But really, look at Lil' Kim. Lil' Kim came out, and then when she came in and changed that era, before that, all the other female MCs had that. I come out as an MC. I'm coming out on that dude tip with that male frequency, like where I got my Timbs and my baggy jeans and my button-up baseball jerseys, my bandana. Then Lil' Kim came out on that sexual energy. You have the other rappers too, like Foxy Brown, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B. Lil' Kim set the way for that. So one can say, oh, they're copying. That it's gonna always be some form of imitating. As much as it could irk your freaking nerves, you gotta find a way to just keep doing what's true to you, because as long as you do what's true to you, it doesn't matter. You're gonna be successful in that. Like if it's true to you. All the fakers and perpetrators, they'll fall off. They'll go do something else, because they're not gonna be able to withstand something a long period of time without exposing the fake. But back to Mars and Aquarius, yeah, you gotta understand Aquarius is like a different type energy. It's even expressed differently, and Aquarians is that helper type energy. So Drake does show traits of that. He shows traits of saying, hey, I want to help other people. He could have been doing this on the low, and when he got to God's plan, okay, he recorded it. It's just not unfamiliar. It's not unfamiliar that an Aquarian, you got to think of an Aquarian hopes, wishes, dreams. Aquarian is about associations, is about the group. So another thing, people want to down him about his team. Well, that's how Aquarian energy gets down. That's how he makes his moves, and that's how he's been really successful as he is, because he networked and established an association with different people, with his quote-unquote ghostwriters. Like, hey, I got something for you, you got something for me. We're together, but you got to understand, he has that Scorpio sting at the same time. So he may attach himself on to a particular person or situation, and then when he's done, detach himself with no emotions about it. Mars in Aquarius, he makes moves. He plans his stuff in the background, and then he drops it on everybody. That's what happens. That's what he does. Jupiter in Pisces, wow, this is where Jupiter belongs. So he's very powerful when it comes to actually the wisdom that he has. He has more wisdom than he really portrays. I mean, sometimes you can hear it in his songs, but you really can hear it when he first started on his interviews. He knew what type of atmosphere he was getting in, especially being an actor and things of that nature, like on a show like Degrassi. He knew what he was getting into from jump. So it's not anything new to him. He could see it. He's a very spiritual person. When people wonder why he is very strategic with numbers and spirituality, setting things up First of all, he's going to be very subliminal, so he's going to give you information without giving you information. He wants people to use their minds. He wants people to tune in. He wants people to understand, and he feels like if you pick it up, okay, you know, you're about that life. If you don't, you just don't.
Jupiter in Pisces.
Spiritual. He sees a lot of things that other people may not see or may not understand, and that's where his luck is. I wouldn't be surprised as he expands in his spirituality, he expands with that knowledge, the wisdom, the spiritual wisdom, which is like the unknown. Okay, as he expands, he'll move more into the area of where he's actually probably using his music or like his skills, other skills. As he expands past music, corporate motivation and spiritual content even more, and he could do so in a practical way, since a lot of other people are not really aware of a lot of spiritual things that we are connected to as just being spiritual beings ourselves. A lot of people are not aware. They turn it more into like a spooky type thing, and a lot of people that's in the know play on that. Jupiter in Pisces, like I said, it's no wonder that he is an emotional dude. Saturn, the planet of Saturn in Sagittarius. Okay, what is the planet of Saturn? Obstacles, limitations, setbacks, hardships, delays, all of those things that we dread. All of those things that we dread. But it means that you have to work hard for what you get, for what you want. And it don't come easy. So Sagittarius, if you know anything about the sign of Sagittarius, Sagittarian is like a future orient, and they like the spotlight. Look at Jay-Z. The arrogance is real. And they could be leaders. If anything, they're out there. They display themselves, they display what they gain. It's all about them. Drake has this thing, especially when it comes to Saturn, to where he really just don't want to be in the forefront like that. He gets placed in those situations, but it's not his thing. So he struggles with that. He struggles with coming out, saying things, just being the leader, just being seen all the time. That's something that he really loathes, or he has a hard time with. Even if he wants to do it, he battles himself with that because it takes him out of his comfort zone. So those times when we saw him on his interviews and just about that life, and then we see him back up, just know that he had to pump himself up a little bit and then do the interviews or do what he needs to do, and then he'll go back to the background. I know people are like, okay, so why did he sign with Birdman, Cash Money, and he didn't sign with Jay-Z? Well, he doesn't really trust Jay-Z. He feels like there's obstacles associated with Jay-Z. His Saturn is a Sagittarius. Jay-Z is a Sagittarius. Does anybody get it? He knew that working with Jay-Z, it would be a bit of a struggle. His Mars is in Aquarius. Birdman is in Aquarius. So he felt like Birdman's and Cash Money had the potential to take him to the level that he needed. He's seen that we got the same angle. We both are see things the same way, or he's seen that Birdman had the potential to take him to the place he needed to go, which is that did happen. You know, we can sit here and joke about the fact that he doesn't play his artist and all, but still that did happen because we see Drake now in the place that he's at. And I'm not saying that Birdman made him. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you look at it from an energetic point of view, this is how it plays out, and Drake may not even understand this, or he may, but he may not. Uranus in Sagittarius, that he is that generation that sets new trends, does new things, the trailblazer. There's obstacles around that with him, because even though he is able to do this is what he's here for, people are going to give him a hard time about it. Okay, that's how it is. Neptune in Capricorn, the planet Neptune in Capricorn, this is that generation that he's very spiritual. He tries to use his spirituality, he tries to use the things that come to him on a spiritual nature in a practical way to build different things, different structural pieces. Like for him, if he's getting into production or anything like that, his thing is, I know that is there, I seen it in my dreams, I envision, so I'm here to change the structure of the way certain things are done with what I bring to the table. And that's his generation. Pluto and Scorpio. But Pluto and Scorpio, this is massive change for him. So in order for him to get to his next level, most times there has to be a breakdown in his personality traits, where his ego lays. And when I say a breakdown, it doesn't necessarily mean he necessarily breaks down. It means that he changes up, he transforms his format. Okay, and the fact that his Mercury's in Scorpio too, him coming out and being more verbal in ways we never seen him before, like being pushed to the edge. Pushed to the edge. Even his Pluto conjuncting his Venus in Scorpio. Even his love interest. Boom, he gets the baby mama pregnant. And now what? Look who he's with. It changes everything. It seems like it changes everything for him. So but it brings the birth of his child. But there's like scandal around it. So his change comes through transformation. And usually Scorpios, they look for transformation processes, but they are not really that eager to jump into them. It kind of just plays out for them. Like they know, and that's what they fear, because they feel it, they sense it coming, and then when it comes, it just erupts like never before. I don't really want to get into like the North Node and things like that too deep, but when we talk about the North Node, we talk about where the direction that we head in the future, where we're preparing ourselves to go. So if you have your North Node in one sign, your South Node is direct opposite of it in the opposite sign of what your North Node is in. And then what does that mean? Oh, for the South Node, his South Node is in Libra. It's directly opposite of Aries. So what is Libra about? Libra is about partnerships, and so he's comfortable with a team, he's comfortable with a partner, OVO. People don't understand that. Saying, okay, why don't you break free and why don't you go on your own and be a leader and take this into the direction that you needed to go? He's saying, okay, but that's a struggle for me, because whatever your North Node is in, that's what you struggle with. You have one. Everybody has one. Furthermore, his rising sign, his ascendant sign, what he expresses himself as, how we see him, is a Leo. So we see him as a very public or seeming public, confident human being when he is in the public. We see him as that. But that's just his persona. But I will say this, a lot of Leo risings, ascendants are celebrities. But some of them, they can't handle, they want it, they end up in that position, but they can't handle it sometimes based on where their other placements are. So as much as he wants to be that person that's there getting all the pride, like taking on the interviews and getting all the attention, as he does go get the attention, like I said, he backs away from the attention just as quick, and you're like, where's Drake? And then he's dropping another album on you, like boom. Okay. This brings us to, since I'm talking about the rising signs, it brings us to the house positions, and a lot of people are not really aware of the house position holds the particular planetary energies in their chart. Because of this, you don't really know yourself on a deeper level, or you will have to look into it yourself. Yes, I do this, so you can feel free to look in the description box and contact me if you like help on your birth chart. Just wanted to point out a couple major points, and I'll end this. But he has Scorpio in his sun is in Scorpio, his Mercury is in Scorpio, his Venus is in Scorpio, and his Pluto is in Scorpio, all sitting in his 4th house. Comes to like his home, family life, he likes to keep protected behind the scenes. He treasures, he doesn't want people in his business like that. It's already been done, guys, because everybody has been figuring out, how do we get Drake, and then what Pusha T comes up with. And what did he do? He attacks his mother that provided this security for him. I shouldn't say attack, but because I don't really feel like it was an attack. Like he presented this information. And not only did he present this information, he did it in a way to where it's like he used it against Drake. Drake cannot stand that. Okay, that's why it just feels like they betray him all around. You gotta understand. And he has his Saturn and Sagittarius in his 5th house. So when it comes to things like his creativity, his children, just who he is, his ego in general, that's pretty big. He takes it very serious, and he has put so much time and energy and planning into building himself, building what that is, and he's serious about it. Well, you would be too if Saturn was sitting inside of your 5th house. So that means if Sagittarius, the sign of like the foreign lands, is in his 5th house of children, it's only right that he would have a child with someone that's in a faraway land from himself, a foreign land from himself. It fits right here in his chart. Mars in Aquarius in his 7th house, house of partnerships. He moves through his associations, through his contacts, through his business partners. And because his Mars is in Aquarius, they're more likely to set him up. And he knows this. He's paranoid. And we don't really know what type of situations that he faced with his mother, around his mother, because he has Cancer in the 12th house where his moon sign is located. So a lot of his feelings and a lot of his emotions and a lot of his sensitivities he holds there, and he holds guarded almost. And you guys look at it as him being weak, but really it really shows the type of strengths that he does have. And honestly, that's why a lot of people try to come at him around his emotions, where honestly, really, he doesn't care. It's almost as if he's oblivious to his own emotions. What does this mean? This means that he could really do damage if he really wanted to. Like, he could really do damage to other people if he really wanted to, like on an emotional level. And it's no joke, because you can see it here. I don't know, because me, myself, and I had my opinion. I still do when you look at the beef between him and Pusha T. And you got to understand, Pusha T is Drake's opposite sign. That's his opposition naturally. Can oppositions work together? Yes, so they could come together and still be just as powerful. But because Pusha T is a Taurus, he is the opposite of Drake. That's his opposition naturally. They could be arch enemies, especially the opposition between Scorpio and Taurus. Especially that opposition between those two, because they're so stubborn, and when they're mad and when they're angry at each other, they're actually mad. They hold on to stuff very, very, very strong. So Pusha T, that's what he intends to do. I don't know, because Uranus is in Taurus right now. Maybe he'll end up having a change of heart to where he lets down this stronghold. At least we can only pray that he does. He can go there. He's consistent. He can be consistent enough to come back at Drake every time Drake comes back at him. But Drake can also come in a ruthless way as well. Drake doesn't really see the need to do that, though. You have to understand. So them doing this, or Pusha T challenging him in this way, is kind of like, okay, I don't really want to go there. I don't really want to go under the belt with you like that. And everybody knows that a Scorpio kills people the most by ignoring them, overlooking them, because it makes the person feel like dirt slithering around on the ground, and just makes a person feel absolutely useless and worthless. And that's how he wants people to feel, especially the people that stabs him in the back. He's had this his whole life, the people stabbing him in the back. With Pusha T and him, it's not unfamiliar. They can hold this grudge against each other, and they're in opposition. And the thing about it is, Pusha T would be the one to expose him. He's a Taurus, and guess what, my friends? Drake has the sign of Taurus in his 10th house of his public image. His public image in opposition to who he is directly. And Pusha T, of all people, a Taurus, comes out and publicizes his personal life. Oh my God. Wow. What a world. What a wild world. And I can't wait to see, because I'm just here. Listen, anything can happen at this point. Anything can happen at this point. We'll see like where things go. I'm just here giving a little backdrop of Drake's energy in his chart, he really can respond and react the way that he wants. He can override the energy of his chart, or he, as it plays out, and rise to the challenges, or he can let that energy defeat him. What will he do? That's all. This has been Drake's birth chart analysis. And your girl Butterfly to Light. You just been Butterfly Zones, and I will be back. Peace.